Hi, folks, and welcome to Think Bowling. Today's guest will be Norm Duke. Norm's going to talk about his involvement in three different companies within the bowling industry: Champions, Power Play, and Hex Grips. So let's bring Norm on and find out more. Hello, Norm.
Hello, Bill. How are you?
All right. So today we're going to do something probably you haven't done in a long time, is talk about Champions and Power Play, two companies that you were involved with back in the day, a while ago. And I remember, it was you, Chris Warren, Del Ballard, and Billy Hall, correct?
Yes, with Power Play, that's true. No, excuse me.
Champions.
That was with Champions. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So you guys made the first, according to the USBC, the first two balls that cleared were the burgundy and the black, and then the blue one came after that.
Yes.
And they were standard, they were unique 3-piece balls at the time.
Yes.
They were different than a pancake weight block.
That's
and then
correct.
You come out with the Bubblegum Ultimate Weapon, which was an amazing urethane ball at the time.
Loved that ball, yeah.
Yeah. Huge. And then my memory is the Black Ultimate Weapon, first resin ball for Champions, but all your balls were poured at Hammer, Faball, Baltimore Plant.
Not so. In fact, Dennis Baldwin with Hammer was skeptical about the reactive resin balls at that time. In fact, he was doing so well with the Blue Hammer that he suggested to us and was vehement about it that no reactive resin. Well, we ended up going to Columbia to have Columbia pour our reactive resin. So Columbia made the Ultimate Weapon reactive with that pink logo and the black ball.
Okay. Wow. I did not know that. I know that Hammer was really late to the party with the resin balls.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Dennis was not only instrumental in the decision-making process, but all of the pouring, the ratios, the materials and stuff. Their team at Faball were so instrumental in us having a ball. I mean, they worked every day diligently with Bill Hall to get those products made.
Okay. And then the Warhawks were next?
The Warhawks, yeah. I know that John Mazza made the first telecast with the Warhawk from the lead.
Yeah, throwing on the Dick Weber Classic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was an amazing show.
You have a better memory than I do on this. I was there, and you have a better memory.
I remember him winning with it. Did he sign with Champion afterwards?
No, he did not. No, we were wanting him to come on board, but he just, at the time, and you know what, he had really good foresight. He said, you know what, I want to keep myself available to all the equipment. There were so many new bowling balls. That was like the explosion of the Ball a Week Club. And he wanted to have access to all of those. And you know what? He's looking back, that was a very intelligent decision. In fact, when he made a show, it seemed like every time he made a show, that bowling ball was just now released, whichever one it was that he used. And he was getting top incentives for those suckers.
Yeah. And I remember most players don't know, or even people know nowadays, that back then you were paid a certain amount to wear the shirt and to throw the ball on the show. So how was that for Champions trying to compete in that marketplace when it was so cutthroat like that?
A good question. In fact, the year that John Mazza made the show in the Dick Weber Classic, we had a time buy. So we had commercials. I mean, it cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars to get our commercials on. And about 2 or 3 weeks after John had made show, won with it, we had commercials and everything, we were not seeing any improvement in ball sales. So we had to scrap, we had to scrap the commercial, the whole thing, because it just wasn't working out. And we paid dearly for those commercials.
Yeah, I'm sure that hurt you a lot.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And then the next ball.
We were expecting so many good things to happen. Our very first week on national television with a commercial, we got the lead bowler. He's a left-hander. Oh my gosh, it just backfired on us. We don't know why.
Yeah. Interesting. Uh, then Warhawk XR, very, very skid flippy ball.
Don't even remember that ball. I'm sorry about that, Bill.
And then after that was the Mustang, which was a blue solid ball.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then the last balls that I remember, oh no, sorry. I skipped two. There was the Dragons, the two Dragons, the
Right,
green
the
and
two
the blue.
Dragons.
Yeah. And then it was the Warhawk XRs, and then Mustang, and then the last four balls that I remember were the Orbit and Eclipses.
I don't even know that those balls made it out. I don't remember rolling an Eclipse ever. So it might be that that the writing was on the wall that we weren't going to make it.
Okay.
And it might be that I had already removed myself from that staff. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Before their last four releases, I think that I had already removed myself from staff.
Okay. What made you leave?
The performance of the equipment.
Okay.
We had targets. We wanted to make different weight blocks.
Yep.
It seemed like, when we started with Champions, all we had was the 3-piece weight block that was in the same 3 balls. And then we expanded to the Warhawk. I didn't like it that much. So I really thought that I could do better with any of the other equipment brands. As a matter of fact, at that time, I thought that I was the best in the world, and I proved it. As soon as I got off staff, I started winning a lot. I think the last years of Champions is when I picked up the beast from Columbia, and boy, oh boy, was there a difference.
Yeah. So the original weapons they were poured in Fabulous plant in Baltimore, or Hammer's plant in Baltimore. Were they just blends of Hammer cover stocks?
No, we had our own cover stocks, but they were certainly the same manufacturers of A side, B side. It was just different ratios and a little different mixtures. Sometimes they put, I guess just a few years after this, they started putting glass beads in balls and the bubble beads and things like that. So we had additives and stuff that we could put in there. But for the most part, it was the same components that Hammer used, but then in a different ratio.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And when you left, did the other pro players, Dell and Chris, leave at the same time, or did they leave before you? Or
well, I think it may have even been Chris Warren that left first. It was either he or I. I think Dell was the last to leave, but it was all pretty close to the same time. You're talking about within 3 or 4 months. We were a little bit unhappy. It wasn't that Champions was doing anything wrong. It was just that we needed stuff better, faster, and it seemed like we were under the umbrella of the Hammer brand. So if we needed a test ball, let's say, we got put in the queue behind Hammer's test balls and stuff. So we really wanted to have more of a quick reaction to all of our concerns, and we just wasn't getting it. And I'll tell you what, the late Jim Maylander, loved the guy to death. Bill and I just had such a close relationship with him. Dennis Baldwin will be one of my closest friends until till life is over. So these were great relationships, great friends. It's just that it was a business, and in that business where we swung like no tomorrow, but we also missed. And so, sometimes you just wish you'd have hit it.
Yeah. Okay. And then you kind of move around a little bit, and then you form Power Play with Billy Hall, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And
we had our own plant. We put all of the stuff together in Canton, Ohio. We had so many square feet in a facility that we could have grown immeasurably. So we really had what we thought we needed. And with Power Play, I tell you what, the big deal there was our major investor, he was just a little crooked, I think, and in a sense took a lot of people's investment money, and instead of throwing it to us and to other investments that he was managing, he just kept it. So one day we found ourselves with an orange stripe around the whole big building. The tape saying you're not allowed to go in. I know that Bill called me. I was about to go on the floor. I think in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, when this happened. He called me. He says, "Norm, I can't even get in to get my leather jacket, my wallet, my watch, none of that." He said, "They've got this place locked down." And so that was a very abrupt ending to what we believed at the time was going to be such a great company. We had the right people, we thought, and we certainly had a bowling ball that could strike. We just needed some luck where we didn't get it.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting to learn. I mean, I saw that they were coming out and I was definitely interested because your name's on it, and then
the very first event that the ball was launched, I won there in Windsor Locks.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on and talking about that. I mean, if there's more that you'd like to add, I don't know.
You're missing one of the companies that I originated with back way back. You're missing Hex Grip from me. My brother and I, the green inserts that had the hexagon inside, that had the holes around your. Yeah, that was me and my brother and Gary Fuel. We did that out of Fort Worth, Texas. My brother had moved into my father's house with me. Of course, I traveled for a living, so I wasn't there very often. And I remember coming home one fall, and the whole back area had been changed and is now inventory. We had these boxes of nothing but green finger inserts. And that was a really good product, by the way. And we had this, Bill, a marketing campaign that had me on a poster, right, in a white tuxedo with a green. Yeah, it was awesome.
I've had a lot of old bowlers journals and stuff, and I've never seen that ad. I would definitely remember that ad.
Oh gosh, we did about 5,000 posters, and God, there was I'd guess it was about 10 years ago. I went in for a clinic in some city. I don't remember where it was. I went in the pro shop just to say hi and let them know that we were going to be selling some balls to them, and there was the poster on the wall. I hadn't seen it in maybe 2 decades at the time. And I said, "You got to be kidding me." He said, "Oh yeah, I got a lot of relic stuff in here." So that was a fun time.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to learn as well. Thank you very much.
You're welcome for that.
Well, it was great to get to talk to you about those two companies and learn 3 companies now and learn more about that. Really, really sorry that Power Play didn't work out. That would have been a really interesting company.
Yeah, me too. You try your best. That's what happens. You try your best. We formed Mark Maker, Brian Voss and I did, with regard to some bowling shoes, and eventually we merged with NXT Bowler out of San Francisco. So if you remember the shirts that were the bowling jersey shirts. Yep. And Brian Voss had his own dress shoe. Mine was on the way. We folded the company before it was released, but I have prototypes still in my closet with that. But I tell you what, if you're not swinging and you're not trying, then you're giving up. That's the way I've always looked at business.
Yeah. And how many years now have you been with Storm?
I would guess 14, 15 years now with Storm, and could not be happier. Storm, not only do they treat us so well, but they also come out with the very best bowling products. So every day I wake up, I know that in my bag, there's not the excuse. You can't use that as an excuse, Sometimes you want to say when you miss a 10 pin, those Storm balls, but no, you can't do it. It's your own deal.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you out there, and hopefully continue winning.
Thank you. I tell you what, without winning, it is just not the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Like my friend Jim Insminger said a long time ago, he said, "Norm, if you're not the lead dog, the view's all the same." And so I've never forgotten that.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks for having me on your podcast. I appreciate that.
All right. Have a great night. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, folks, we learned a little bit more about Norm Duke's involvement in Power Play, Champions, and Hex Grips. Want to learn more about Think Bowling? Click the like and subscribe,
and we'll see you in the next video.